So, you're trying to set up a Django project in VS Code, and you just keep hitting wall after wall. Sound familiar? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to build the perfect, completely frustration-free development environment, step by step. Does this screen give you a little bit of PTSD? You open up the terminal, you type the command to activate your virtual environment, and nope. It's probably the #1 most common headache for developers getting started with Django in VS Code. But don't you worry, we're going to fix that for good. All right, here's the game plan. First, we're going to smash through that infamous activation error wall. Then we'll build a really solid project foundation, and I'll show you the one VS Code trick that honestly changes everything. After that, we'll get our server up and running, learn how to manage multiple projects at once, and finally, get you set up with a pro-level debugging workflow. Okay, let's talk about this activation error. So you've done everything right. You made your virtual environment, you navigate to the scripts folder, and you try to run activate, only to be greeted by this lovely message. This right here, this is the wall. It's an error that basically tells you the command you just typed is nonsense, even though you can literally see the file sitting right there in the folder. It's super confusing, it stops you dead in your tracks, and today, we're going to learn how to bypass it completely. You know, the secret to getting past that wall isn't some complex command line hack. It's all about starting the right way. A clean, well-structured workspace is the real foundation for avoiding these kinds of problems from the get-go. And it all starts with 3 really simple steps. First, just create one single empty folder for your entire project. Let's call ours Project Demo for now. Then, and this part is key, open that specific folder in VS Code. Don't open a parent folder, just that one. Finally, pop open a new terminal right inside the editor. Now, inside that new terminal, you're going to run this exact command, python-vim dot. This tells Python, hey, I need a new virtual environment. But you got to pay close attention to that last character, that single dot. So what's the big deal with that dot? Well, by using it, you're telling Python to put all the virtual environment files directly into the folder you're in right now. This avoids creating extra nested folders like project demo/vnv/scripts, which just gets messy. It's a tiny thing that keeps your project structure way cleaner. And here we go. This is it. This is the aha moment that makes everything just click into place. Instead of fighting with the terminal to activate the environment, we're going to let VS Code do all the heavy lifting for us. Okay, go ahead and press Ctrl-Shift-P to open up the command palette. Start typing Python Select Interpreter and pick that option when it pops up. VS Code will then scan your folder, and here's the magic. It's going to find and recommend the Python interpreter that's buried inside your new virtual environment. All you have to do is click on it. And here is the beautiful payoff. Once you've selected that interpreter, you are done. Seriously. Just close any old terminals you have open and fire up a new one. You'll see the name of your environment right there in the prompt, automatically activated. No more running scripts, no more errors, it just works. So now that our environment is active and totally hassle-free, we can actually get to the fun part and start our project. Getting from here to our running server is an absolute breeze. In your new auto-activated terminal, the first thing you'll do is install Django with pip. Then you'll use Django admin start project and give your project a name to create all the starter files. Hop into that new directory, and finally, run the development server with Python manage.py run server. And just like that, you've got a live Django site running on your machine. Okay, but let's level up. What if you're working on more than one project in the same workspace? You know, maybe an e-commerce site and a totally separate school management system. Well, you're going to hit a new problem pretty fast. See, when you run server in both project terminals, they both try to grab the same default web port, which is 8000. The second server is just going to fail to start because that port is already taken. So, how do you run them both at the same time? The fix is incredibly simple. For your second project, just add a port number to the end of the command. For example, Python manage.py run server 8001. This just tells Django, hey, use this other port instead, allowing both of your servers to run happily side by side. No conflicts. All right, we've got our servers running, but constantly stopping and restarting them in the terminal is kind of clunky. Let's finish this off by integrating VS Code's debugger for a truly professional workflow. Head over to the Run and Debug panel on the side. You'll see a link to create a launch.json file. Click that. It's going to pop up a list of configurations. Just select Django. Then, VS Code will ask which project's manage.py file you want to use. Just pick the one you want to debug, and you're set. Once that's set up, your whole workflow just gets an upgrade. You get a nice little toolbar to start, stop, and restart your server with a single click. No more typing commands. And even better, you can now set breakpoints anywhere in your Python code to pause the program and see exactly what's going on. This is an absolute game changer for hunting down bugs. And one final super critical tip for you. When you look inside that launch.json file, you'll see the paths have double backslashes, like ecommerce/manage.py. You have to keep it that way. In this type of file, a single backslash is a special escape character, so if you only use one, your path will be broken and the debugger just won't work. And there you have it. We went from a frustrating error message to a full-featured professional development environment, complete with integrated debugging. We've built a rock-solid foundation that's going to let you focus on what actually matters, building cool stuff. So, the only question left is, what are you going to build next?